Greetings, my friends. My name is Dr. Jeremy Delamarter. I'm a professor at Northwest University, and I have the great privilege of teaching BUSM 7223 Data-Driven Decisions. I am genuinely excited to be working with you this spring. I'm excited because you're working towards your doctorate, and I get to walk alongside you in that process. I'm excited because of the ways that this information and knowledge is going to be directly applicable to you in your work lives or whatever context you're going to be applying this in. And mostly I'm excited because I love working with students and exploring the unexplored. So that's what I want to talk with you about right now, is what is this course about? Unlike an undergraduate or master's level course on data, which might be more focused on the how-to, and by the way, you do have those courses in your quantitative and qualitative methods, this course is focused more on the philosophical underpinnings, the assumptions about reality that lie behind data-driven decision-making. So we're going to explore some questions. For example, questions like, what is data? What does it mean to be data literate? Does literacy mean the same thing in every place, in every context, in every situation? How do we communicate data? Again, we're not getting into the nuts and bolts specifics as much, although we will. But what we're really focusing on is the underlying theories behind all of this, so that when you understand these theories, you can take them and apply them in your specific contexts. If we spend most of our time working on specific how-tos or specific methodologies or specific, say, data management systems that don't apply to your particular setting, it would be very difficult to see the relevance. But what we're going to do is dig into the unexplored assumptions that we have about data. For example, as I'm saying the word data, many of you are probably thinking about numbers. I know that in my world, numbers are quite often what come up. Where did that come from? When did we equate data and numbers? It's not a natural pairing. There's a philosophical assumption taking place here. We're going to explore that and all of the ramifications that has for practice and communication. We're going to be looking at the contexts, the social and structural context in which data is shared. How do we understand those? I think it's a fascinating class. I'm very, very excited to be teaching this, because what we want is that you will be able to interact with data meaningfully in your context in such a way that is beneficial for not only you, but the system as a whole, again, in whatever context that is. And to do that means that you got to be able to peek behind the curtain a little bit. So we're going to peek behind the curtain. We're going to do more than peek behind the curtain. We're going to yank the curtain aside and, take a bunch of pictures and see what's there. So to do this, we are using the Discovery platform instead of InU Online. So I want to tell you a little bit about how this works. You will see on this page, you're on the introduction page right now, that each week has its own separate page. When you click on each week, you will see usually an introductory video from me explaining what's happening for the week. There will be, and then it will run down what are the readings for the week, what's due for the week, are there any other videos you need to watch for the week, things like that. And then at the bottom of the page, there will be, if there are assignments, say a discussion forum or a paper to turn in, those will be all there at the bottom. And then below that is where the readings will be attached as PDFs or Word documents. Very, very, very rarely, if at all, will I have just a straight up link that you go to online. I like to attach the actual documents themselves. You can look at the syllabus, which is on this page that you're on right now, the introduction page. It's at the bottom of the page. And it will tell you all the due dates and all of the timeline. But I just want to tell you now about the general structure of the course. We have a number of assignments in this class that are not graded. For example, all of the discussion forums that we're going to do are not graded. We have Zoom meetings where we're going to meet face-to-face. Those are not graded. I encourage your participation in those. To a great degree, doctoral students should be doing more than the minimum required. But those are not graded, partly because it's really difficult to grade a discussion forum, and also because I'm interested less in your compelling you to participate and less in your well, I have to have this many words in response, but more in the actual exchange of ideas and an actual discussion. And so I find that not making those mandatory, not grading them anyways, is a much better way to do that. The way you are going to be graded in this course is through 5 short papers that they're happening every 2 weeks. So this class has 5 topics, and in the second week of each topic, there will be a short, 5-page paper for each of those. And then there is a culminating paper at the end of the course, which is a case study of a business. All of these documents are available on the Discovery page, and you'll find the directions for them on the due date for each page. So, for example, if one of these assignments, I think reflection paper 1 is due on April 8th, if you go to the week 2, April 8th page, you will find the assignment on that page. The syllabus tells you when you can find these, and so you should use that and then find them. But I encourage you to read them soon. The 5 reflection papers are designed for us to build a set of skills, practice using the vocabulary that we're learning, practice using the analysis tools that we're learning. And then the final paper is your chance to put all that together and analyze it in another setting. Excuse me. What's interesting to me is that you do not have to wait until the very end to start working on the analysis paper. I have built in 2 weeks that are just work days, where there's no reading, there's no other assignment, designed just to give you time to work. But I would encourage you to become familiar with these, especially that last assignment, as soon as possible, and to begin setting up for it. Because it does involve work beyond just writing. It involves some analysis in a real-life setting of data practices. So I would encourage you to look at that. We can also talk about this at our first Zoom meeting. The Zoom meetings I have tentatively scheduled for Thursdays. They're not every week. You can look at the schedule and see them. But at 3 p.m., we'll do the first one at that time, and at that point we'll talk about if there's a better time of day to do that. I don't know. I haven't met you yet, so I'm totally happy to adjust that, but we'll just have to talk first. So we'll do the first one as scheduled, and then beyond that we will do it as needed. And the last thing I want to tell you is that I am available via email all the time. Please email me at any point. You'll find me remarkably flexible if you're communicating with me ahead of time. I would appreciate that. So that's it. I will make sure that my email is, you'll receive an email from me, but I will also make sure that it is linked very clearly on this page. Thank you very much. I'm really looking forward to working with you, and I will see you at our first Zoom meeting.